You ever notice how the things you want most are the things that seem to slip away the fastest? The more you chase happiness, the more it runs from you. The harder you try to be confident, the more self-conscious you feel. The more desperately you need love, the lonelier you become. It's maddening, isn't it? Like there's some cosmic joke being played on you. You're doing everything right. You're trying. You're putting in the work. And somehow, it's making things worse. What if I told you that's not a coincidence? What if I told you there's actually a psychological principle that explains exactly why this happens? It's called the backwards law. And once you understand it, everything changes. The philosopher Alan Watts put it like this: the more you try to be secure, the more insecure you become. The more you chase pleasure, the more you suffer. Basically, the more you pursue something, the more you reinforce the fact that you don't have it. Think about that. Every time you desperately try to be happy, you're telling your brain, I'm not happy right now. Something's missing. I need to fix this. And your brain believes you. It focuses on the lack, the emptiness, the thing you don't have. So you end up creating the exact feeling you're trying to escape. I'll give you a real example. Let's say you're trying to fall asleep. You're lying there, eyes closed, thinking, I need to sleep. I have to sleep. Come on, brain, just shut off. What happens? You become more awake. Your mind races. You check the clock. You calculate how many hours you have left. You get anxious about being tired tomorrow. The harder you try to sleep, the more impossible it becomes. But then, the moment you give up, the moment you think, fine, I'll just lie here, you drift off. That's the backwards law in action. Or here's another one: confidence. You can't try to be confident. You just can't. Because real confidence doesn't come from effort. It comes from not caring whether you're confident or not. The person who walks into a room thinking, I need to seem confident. I need to impress these people. I need to say the right things. They're not confident. They're performing, and everyone can feel it. But the person who walks in thinking, I'm just gonna be myself and see what happens. They don't even think about confidence. They're just present. And that's what actually draws people in. You can't force it. You can only stop trying to force it. Here's where it gets uncomfortable, though. Because if trying harder makes things worse, then what are you supposed to do? Just give up. Stop caring. Become some passive blob who doesn't want anything. No, that's not it. The backwards law isn't about not wanting things. It's about letting go of the desperate grip. It's about wanting something without needing it to feel okay. It's about pursuing a goal without attaching your entire sense of worth to the outcome. It's about desiring lightly. Let me tell you what this looked like for me. There was a time when I wanted to be creative. I wanted to make things that mattered. But every time I sat down to create, I'd freeze because I was trying so hard to make it perfect, trying to make it meaningful, trying to prove something, and the pressure crushed me. nothing I made felt good enough, so I'd quit before I even started. Then one day I just stopped caring, not about the work, but about whether it was good. I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna make something. Doesn't matter if it's terrible. Doesn't matter if no one sees it. I'm doing it because I feel like it. And suddenly it flowed. The thing I'd been trying to force for months just happened because I stopped trying to make it happen. This is what the backwards law teaches us. When you stop chasing happiness and just do things that feel real, happiness shows up as a side effect. When you stop performing confidence and just accept your awkwardness, people actually connect with you. When you stop trying to control everything and just let life unfold, things have a weird way of working out. Not because you stopped caring, but because you stopped strangling the thing you cared about. The psychologist Viktor Frankl noticed this too. He called it paradoxical intention. He worked with patients who had severe insomnia, and instead of telling them to try harder to sleep, he told them to do the opposite. He told them to try to stay awake as long as possible. And you know what happened? They fell asleep, because the moment they stopped fighting it, the pressure dissolved. He used the same technique for anxiety, for stuttering, for all kinds of things where trying harder just makes it worse. The solution wasn't more effort, it was less grip. So here's the thing you need to understand. You're not failing because you're not trying hard enough. You might be failing because you're trying too hard, because you're so focused on the outcome, so desperate for the result, that you've lost touch with the process. You've forgotten how to just be with it. And life doesn't respond to force. It responds to flow. It responds to showing up without clenching, to caring without clinging, to wanting without demanding. Think about love for a second. The people who are desperate for a relationship, who need someone to complete them, who can't stand being alone, they push people away because that neediness is suffocating. It's not attractive. It's a black hole. But the person who's comfortable in their own skin, who likes themselves, who would be okay alone, but is open to connection, that person is magnetic, not because they're trying to be, but because they're not trying at all. They've let go of the desperate need, and in doing so, they've created space for something real. Here's what I'm saying. Whatever you're chasing right now, maybe ease up a little, not because you don't want it, but because the death grip you have on it is probably choking the life out of it. Maybe you don't need to figure it all out today. Maybe you don't need to force the breakthrough. Maybe you don't need to prove anything to anyone, including yourself. Maybe you just need to breathe, to trust, to let it be a little messy, to stop treating every moment like a test you might fail. Because here's the secret the backwards law reveals. The best things in life can't be chased. They can only be attracted. Joy comes when you're absorbed in something you love, not when you're hunting for it. Peace comes when you stop resisting what is, not when you finally get what you want. Meaning comes when you serve something beyond yourself, not when you obsess over your own fulfillment. Connection comes when you're authentically yourself, not when you're performing to be liked. You can't force these things. You can only create the conditions for them. And the main condition, letting go of the need to force them. So tonight, try something radical. Instead of trying to fix yourself, just accept where you are. Instead of trying to feel better, just feel what you feel. Instead of trying to make something happen, just see what unfolds. Not forever, not as a life philosophy, just tonight. See what happens when you stop trying so hard. See what shows up when you make a little space. Because I think you'll find something surprising. The things you've been chasing, they're already closer than you think. They're just waiting for you to stop running. You don't have to earn peace. You don't have to achieve worthiness. You don't have to perform your way into belonging. You just have to stop believing you do. And the moment you do, everything you've been trying to force, it just arrives, quietly, naturally, like it was there all along. Trying less, receiving more. That's the backwards law. And maybe, just maybe, it's the way forward. Rest easy tonight. You're closer than you think.